So I originally never planned to make a video like this. Despite being a K-pop YouTuber, I've never cared that much for the community as a whole. However, I've been seeing videos with the titles like "Everything Wrong with K-pop YouTubers" and "K-pop YouTube is Problematic" beginning in late 2019 to early 2020, up until now. Originally, I was curious about these videos and I would watch them every time I came across them. At first they interested me, but then they reached a point where they became so mind-numbingly stupid. I've been debating making a video like this for a long time, and I feel like I finally have enough to say to sit down and talk about what's wrong with the mindset seen in these videos. So to pull an Uno reverse card, I'm going to be discussing everything wrong with the Everything Wrong with K-pop YouTubers videos. To be clear, this is directed specifically at the K-pop YouTube commentary community, since this is directly where these videos originate from. A lot of these videos like to say that this isn't directed at any YouTuber in particular, but I'm not going to say that because, well, if the shoe fits, you'll just have to wear it, won't you? I've seen this a lot, and I myself have been accused of lying about my training as a singer multiple times. I've also seen people who make videos about dancing in K-pop receive the same type of shit as me, and a lot of people like to claim that we're all liars who just want to seem more credible. I mean this in the nicest possible way, but some of us have lives and hobbies outside of K-pop. We don't have to lie about being singers or dancers because it's something we were doing long before we got into K-pop, and it's something we'll be doing long after we get tired of it. If you find yourself disagreeing with somebody who is a trained singer or dancer, that's fine. Our word isn't law. But I've found that the criteria for being told you're lying about being a trained singer or dancer is 100% of the time because someone's alt didn't make first on the list for a ranking for singing or dancing. And so therefore we must all be liars conspiring to take down your favorite idols. And if I'm not a trained singer, and they're not a trained dancer, and there's not a K-pop stan alive who's actually a trained singer or dancer, then who's driving the fucking bus? Like I said, the conspiracy theory that people that make these videos are conspiring to take down your favorite groups is bullshit. And if you genuinely think someone's dance or vocal ranking isn't accurate, then just fucking unsubscribe. We don't want to hear your corkboard red string theories about our quote-unquote alleged training. I agree with this somewhat, but at the same time, this trend has never made me angry enough to warrant a rant about it. This trend has always existed, and it always will, because of the fact that people are scared to say things that go against the majority opinion, which is why it began in the first place. I get it's annoying to see in your recommended videos when you go to find new videos to watch, but it's not that big of a deal. Tell YouTube you don't want to see videos like that and move on. It's not and has never been annoying enough to warrant all of the complaints about it. I've seen more complaints about how annoying these videos are than I've seen controversial / unpopular opinion videos on my almost 3 years on YouTube. At the end of the day, for all the talk about how annoying this trend is, these videos always get hundreds of thousands of views, and it's an easy way to jumpstart your channel. So it's not making sense. For all the complaining about how boring and hateful this trend is, you all just can't seem to stop watching these videos. And that's not a bad thing. We all love a little drama here and there. But at least be honest. The views on these videos aren't coming from nowhere, and you can't complain about a trend that you actively contribute to making popular. And while we're on the topic, stop harping on the quote-unquote lack of originality on K-pop YouTube. Go to any section of YouTube and you'll find recycled video trends. You go to beauty YouTube, you'll find thousands of makeup hauls. You go to home improvement YouTube, you'll see tons of home tour videos. Every community lacks so-called originality. It's not just K-pop YouTube. And trends in these communities exist for a reason. They're either A, easy videos to make, B, videos that get lots of views, C, an easy way to get started on YouTube, or D, all of the above. Trends will always exist, and the constant complaining of the so-called lack of originality only exposes you as someone who doesn't understand how the internet works. Also, a lot of trends on K-pop YouTube are videos you all demand creators to post. So you shot yourself in the foot with this one. I'm going to tell you what I hear whenever someone says this. I gave unsolicited criticism to a complete stranger online, and they obviously didn't take it well. And now I'm going to paint this person as egotistical and stubborn because they didn't react well to my unwanted opinions. This is the internet, so you can say whatever you want and nobody can stop you. But what I don't understand is why some of you feel justified in going up to random people completely unprovoked and telling them what you didn't like about their content. Unless someone asked you for your criticism, why would you assume that this is an appropriate way to approach a stranger? Moreover, why do you expect them to be thankful for a random K-pop stan's unsolicited opinion? Also, not all criticism is criticism. Some of it is just thinly veiled hate. There's so much quote-unquote criticism directed at bigger channels like Hofer Sushi or Angelina that serve no other purpose than to just be mean. Just because you're not cursing them out or calling them names doesn't mean that what you're saying isn't rude. There are still real people behind these channels. If you wouldn't do this shit to their face, then don't do it on the internet. A lot of people argue that because I and others have platforms that we should censor ourselves to what we say because we can influence a narrative that's pushed against idols, especially with international fans. And while I don't doubt that influence, I also think there reaches a point where you have to make your own decisions and you can't rely on other people on the internet to tell you how you should think and feel about things. If you're so easily influenced and you can't form your own opinions, then you shouldn't have unregulated access to the internet. For example, I'm an adult. I'm old enough and smart enough to watch a YouTube video or read a tweet and decide I don't agree with it. If you are somebody who is so impressionable that you believe everything you see, hear, or read, then that speaks to your own issues with the internet, not with content creators. While I believe that people should do good things with their platform, it's also not the responsibility of Jimin Lover 679 to censor their thoughts and opinions based on your own impressionability. Like I said, if you're someone who is easily influenced by other people, do some self-reflecting to figure out how you can begin to form your own thoughts and opinions. And if you're under the age of 18, then just give it a few years or maybe talk to your parents about it. But it's not the job of anyone on the internet or anyone on YouTube for that matter to censor themselves because you believe whatever anyone says to you. This also speaks to a problem on social media as a whole, that people give accounts with a lot of followers too much credit for their influence on how people think and also place too much responsibility on them to educate and inform other people even if that isn't their job. And while we're on the topic, let's discuss the fact that a lot of people who criticize K-pop YouTube seem like they don't fully understand the internet. I don't know what they're teaching kids in middle school now, but when I was a preteen getting on social media for the first time, I was told that the internet is a public place, which is the best and worst part of the internet. Anyone can get on the internet and say anything they want to, regardless of whether or not it's true. And recognizing that can help you to not be so impressionable. Don't get on social media and expect people not to lie, because people are going to whether you like it or not. Learning how to interact with the internet in a healthy and reasonable way is crucial, and it's something I think a lot of K-pop stans don't know how to do. To be clear, I am not completely neutral about K-pop YouTube. I have my own pet peeves when it comes to this community, and I've said this before. However, unlike a lot of people, it seems, I realize that this is all just about K-pop. This is not a matter of life and death, and I do not need to argue with people on this platform because they didn't like my face come back. These videos about everything wrong with K-pop are so elitist and pretentious, and they sound like they're coming from people who just got on the internet for the first time. I'm tired of seeing videos about the dark side of YouTube, quote unquote, which by the way are usually just regurgitated ideas taken from other YouTubers who've made videos in this trend as well. There are so many other communities to join if you find yourself not enjoying this one anymore. But please, for the love of God, stop complaining about everything content creators do or don't do. It's hard enough posting content on here without videos about how we're all doing everything wrong, especially when these complaints are trivial at best. That's all I have to say on the subject matter for now, but before I let you go, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Kpop. Kpop is a monthly subscription box filled with K-pop merchandise such as clothing, posters, photo cards, stationery, plushies, Korean snacks, and more. Kpop ships worldwide and has a variety of boxes you can choose from based on the group you want merch from. Getting started with your subscription is easy, and Kpop allows you to customize your box based on your clothing size, the duration of your subscription, what albums you already have, and your bias in your favorite groups. You can also upgrade your box to receive more Korean snacks, plus more merchandise that's also higher in value. We all know that buying merch can be expensive and stressful, and there's such a large variety of merch to choose from. But Kpop makes shopping for your favorite groups easy by surprising you each month with new items, and the cost of Kpop is equivalent to that of one t-shirt or album. For 5% off your first Kpop, use my code redvelvetsus at checkout. Thank you so much to Kpop for sponsoring this video.